Good evening, my fellow aquarium scientists. I greatly apologize. I was running a little late, but we're here. So I hope everybody is doing well. Notice people in the chat. Don't know if they're still here, but obviously Scotty was here on time. Good to see you. Stephen was here. Welcome. Zen. And Rebecca. Lovely. Apologize again for being late, but hope everybody has been having a good Sunday. Rebecca is still here. Wonderful. And we've got Big Steve. Welcome. Hope you're doing well. They decided to do a live stream today. Just talk a little bit about Keystone Clash preparations, and then just talk about aquarium stuff. If anybody has any questions about anything, we can talk about it. There is a sad, I can't talk to it. Do have some sad news regarding the Clash. So some of the stuff that I was hoping to bring to the Clash, mainly the Anubias attached to driftwood, as well as dry driftwood, things like that. Unfortunately, I will not be bringing to the Clash due to budget constraints. Was not able to. Don't think I will be able to order that stuff in. So won't be bringing that stuff in. That being said, I was able to place an order for the TDS meters, so we'll be bringing TDS meters there. And then obviously we'll be bringing the macroalgae display. I think the macroalgae display will be the showstopper, so been focusing a lot on that. But yeah. And then the macroalgae display is doing okay. There will be videos basically to finish off the series will be coming out this week. My goal was to get some of those videos out before the Clash. I'll probably be getting right to the Clash. The salinity issue was a big wrench in the preparations for that display, but was able to figure things out, and we're back on track. So basically what happened was the premium salt water that my local fish store makes, the salinity they keep it at is basically what they use for their fish only tanks. And when it comes to like for their reef tanks, their coral holding, things like that, they mix specific salt water at a certain salinity for that. And obviously I needed fully salt water. Like I needed salinity that was up to like 30 parts per thousand, not 26 or whatever it was. And I asked them, I was like, well, what am I supposed to do? Because I'm not doing a fish only setup. This is something that I'm using that I need a fully saltwater tank for. And they were like, you can mix more salt into it. And so I had to buy salt. I bought like a small thing of the Instant Ocean salt and been slowly adding that to the system just to get the salinity up. And I finally got it to where I wanted it to be. And then I was able to move stuff over in and all that stuff. So we're back on track. And we've got Matt here. Welcome. Appreciate you stopping by. What kind of trouble can I get into here? The mods do their job right, probably none, Matt. I don't even know if the mods are still here. And then we've got Steven. Welcome, Steven. Hope you're doing well. Appreciate you stopping by. Oh no, such a pain. I kind of wish stores would provide is the 30 salt. I forget. I look at the same point these times on the refractometer. I forget the measure. Ever been tempted to keep mantis shrimp with macroalgae? That'd be pretty cool. I don't know. I've never seen mantids kept with macroalgae before. They're usually kept in fowler setups or fish only with live rock setups. Um, um, like a species only tank. But I've never seen them kept with macroalgae, to be honest with you. And then mantis shrimp are pretty daunting. They're expert only, in my opinion. Um, they will hit you and it will hurt. Depends on what species you get. There's the mantids that have like the boxing club appendages, and then there's spearing mantids. Either or, it will hurt. And not only that, they're known to literally break glass. Like if the mantis hits the glass, if you keep them in a glass tank, that's not thick enough, they have broken glass before. And so mantids, as cool as they are, and as the fact that they are on my list of species of invertebrates I would like to keep in my career, um, probably not now, right now. um, yeah, exactly, Rebecca. I've only seen them in fowler setups. I've never seen them in reefs or in a macroalgae setup. I don't know which we've worked with. One of the scientists mentioned, I think the spearing, not the boxing, as she said one was smaller but more feisty. Yeah, I think both are feisty. They used to tap the glass when hungry, but never broke it. They got lucky. Because their appendage, they're able to swing, they're able to hit so fast, so hard, that it creates a gas pocket that is hotter than the sun, or about as hot as the sun. So if you stick your hand in there and it tries to hit you with that, like it is broken, you'll get broken bones. Like that's how bad they are. Um, so they're definitely not beginner friendly mantis shrimps. You know. Then says, "Oh sure, I start doing things around the house, and now you start." I apologize. I really apologize. We used to have a tank of, I think, 10 or more. I found them creepy, but great for checks, like bigger cichlids. If you're there, they will watch you. Yeah, clownfishes do bite too, but less damage. Yeah, they do. Oh, clowns are very feisty. Um, like at work, some of the biologists that take care of our clowns there, um, they've drawn blood. Like that's how bad their bite can be sometimes. Um, but yeah, so clowns are definitely feisty. Don't mess with clowns. Still love them though. Room clowns, they were the worst. They're also the biggest. They get pretty big. I think even bigger than the ocellaris. Those and the skunk clowns. The skunks also get pretty big. At least I've seen them pretty big. Those are my favorites. Yeah, there are a bunch of species of clowns. Not only that, when we're looking at ocellaris, there are a bunch of varieties of ocellaris clowns. Um, Selective breeding has really, really created a lot of designer clownfish is what they're called. I'm not really that into the design. I mean, I think some of them look cool. Um, but I'm fine with just the basic. These were a rehome client of my first job, gave them for a holiday, and never came back, along with convict Blenny boobies. I guess why I wonder why. If they were feisty. I love to keep convict Blennies, gobies in a tank of a lot of tubes. Yeah, that'd be cool. Robert King's clowns are really pretty too. I think he calls them vampires or something because of the eyes. I can't remember exactly, but it's a neat looking strain. Cool. Yeah, there's a bunch of strains. There's even more. I think I don't know if it was actually true or not, but there was even a article out where they discovered. I think I mentioned it before, where there's now blue iridescent blue starting to come out into the white stripes of the clouds. Which I'm just like, why? Like nobody asked for it. Like it wasn't intentional, it just happened, and then they decided, you know what, let's you know selectively breed for that particular trait or particular genome, and then boom, there you go. But yeah, so that's updates with the macroalgae tank. With Keystone Clash again. Unfortunately, some of the things that I said I'll probably be bringing to the Clash, I will not due to budget constraints. But most of this will still be coming. Um, if any of you were interested in the inline TDS meters, I will be bringing them in, but only one of each. So like the one probe, the two, and the three probe, I will only have one of each available. So if you are interested in it and definitely want it, I would suggest placing a pre-order for pickup at the Clash. That way, nobody else snags it. Um, Otherwise, it's a first come first serve basis. um, um, but yeah, and then what else will be there? Um, a few people ordered the Rio Zingu gravel that was already shipped, but I decided to order one extra one just because I thought since it's very popular, maybe somebody at the Clash might want to get one. So I ordered an extra thing of the Rio Zingu um, from Dennerley, and then um, uh, black cones. So some got some botanicals, not a lot. Black cones or the alder cones, nano catappa leaves, which is actually a popular thing for shrimp keepers, and then nano catappa bark that will also be available. Also, just one of each. Give me 1 second, guys. Sorry, I got lemonade on my way from Sunday school and completely forgot it. I was sitting right by my bed. Um, but yes, though that's some of the new things that I got in that I was able to get in that will be available. Here's a mess, so I'm sorry, guys. But yeah, pretty excited, but also pretty nervous and pretty busy. I still got tables I have to get from. I still have like foldable tables I need to get, and then I also want to get like a hand truck as well, just to help with boxes. Obviously, the tanks I'm gonna be manually bringing in, but at least for the boxes and stuff, a hand truck would definitely come in handy for that. Completely forgot that, or just realized that I'm running out of cards, but can't really order them now. And so, but there will be like a QR code at the table, which you can just scan with your phone, and it'll bring you to like a list of all the social media links and website and everything like that. So I'm not too concerned about that. Obviously, there will be stickers. Oh, and I also have to buy the raffle tickets for the macroalgae tank. So, um, so I have to do that. But yeah, busy, busy, busy. I just Googled it's zombies because they have red eyes. I was sort of close, but not really. I'm curious to see those. I've never heard of those types of clownfish. Oh, that is wild. Hang on, let me share my screen here. Oh, sorry. There we go. Look at that. That is crazy. That is creepy, in my opinion. Like a fish that's returned from the dead, the ORA or aura zombie clownfish is truly one of the more unique strains of black ocellaris. Interesting. These fish start out as neon orange juveniles with iridescent blood red eyes. As they mature, the zombie clownfish display varying degrees of their parental black ocellaris pigment, with layers of smoky gray and neon orange splotches. Their final form is something like a soggy black ocellaris that swam up from the depths of the underworld, looking spectacularly like a living DOA. Oh, that's funny. Whoever made this description needs a raise, in my opinion. A living DOA. Our rootstock descend from specimens obtained from clownfish breeder Robert King. Robert named these fish zombies when he first spotted them in a batch he raised from two normal-looking wild-type black ocellaris parents. They resemble a living DOA. Oh, that's funny. I love that. That made my day. Hello there, Tim. Welcome. I hope you're doing well, buddy. I'm excited to see you again at the Clash. It's interesting. I'm going to be seeing new people at the Clash, and then some of the people that I normally see at the Clash aren't coming, which I'm kind of upset about. But you know, stuff happens. We've got Laura. Hello, Laura. Hope you're doing well. This year is going to be much fun once again. I'm super excited. That's right. It definitely is. I'm pretty excited. Can macroalgae and coral coexist, or is it best to do one or the other? No, you can keep macroalgae with coral for sure. You just want to be careful because certain macroalgae do tend to like take over. And so as long as the coral is not being smothered by the macroalgae, as long as the nutrient uptake or the nutrient exchange or export is balanced, because macroalgae really suck up like nitrates and all that stuff that coral also need. So you just want to make sure that the nutrients in the water is enough for everything to be able to benefit from. But I've definitely seen people keep macroalgae within a coral reef. It's definitely doable. Um, it's just that when you add coral into the equation, your husbandry techniques is changes drastically. So if I put coral into this tank, I have to change the light. I have to dose more for elements for coral growth. Um, I have to add more flow into the aquarium, kind of things like that. So, but it's definitely doable and definitely something that whoever ends up winning the tank, if you want to add coral into the display, you definitely can. And if you ever need any help, I can help you with that, for sure. So, it's my goal is not to give whoever wins the tank just the tank. It was like, there you go, good luck, have fun. Absolutely not. Even after that, I would appreciate whoever wins the tank to give me updates on how everything is going, what changes you made to it, to make it better, maybe. Um, but yeah, Tim, to answer your question, you can definitely add coral into it if you want. Um, um, if you don't really feel like changing the light or anything, you can add non-photosynthetic corals as well as gorgonians. I would not recommend that unless you've already been keeping corals in saltwater aquaria for a while, because with non-photosynthetic corals, you have to constantly feed them, because these corals and these gorgonians are not receiving food from zooxanthellae algae that live within them through photosynthesis. Um, so you just have to be careful with that. You know, but um, but yeah, a lot of people, when it comes to macroalgae, especially nowadays, is they will keep them with coral, but usually it's like you've got a reef setup, a reef aquascape, and then you've got a macroalgae aquascape, which is just solely plants, or marine plants, if you will. Um, so it's up to the aquarists, you know, uh, discussion of what you're trying to go for. I don't go into marine areas of UK stores anymore, so I wonder how much clownfish variation we get. Oh, there's a ton. Hang on. Going back to Aura. Um, hang on. Let's see if uh, maybe in the dry goods. I'm just trying to find where the posters are. Here it is. So this doesn't give you like a complete selection, but at least it shows you the how many, like Aura, which is the company, the aquaculture company that a lot of fish stores get some of their like livestock from, like aquaculture livestock from. But they've got posters of designer clownfish, and like that's just a few of the aquaculture designer clownfish that they get. Some of them are variants of like the maroon clowns, or the tomato clowns, or the skunks. A lot of them are from Ocellaris, which is basically just variations on their striping, really. Like there's even a clownfish variant that has no stripes whatsoever. Um, you've got the snowflake or the snow clowns. You've got the Da Vinci. You've got partial striped. You've got the black and whites that are like cows, basically, if you think about it. Um, yeah, pretty wide variety of clowns too, for sure. Although I should go because I really want a proper flamboyant cuttlefish if it happens to pass away. Yeah. I really want flamboyant cuttlefish as well, but they're also expert only. They're not easy to keep. None of the cephalopods are easy to keep. A lot of people skipping this year and doing 2025. Yeah, it seems to be that way. I think most events each year is a mixture. People skip one year and come to the next, or don't see people for like 3 to 4 years. Yeah, but I mean, it's the Keystone Clash. Like, come on. I try to go to events every year. So like now Reefa Palooza is an event that I do my best to go every year. Keystone Clash, as long as I'm able to, I will go every year. Um, I'm trying to work out going to um, reptile shows as well, like herpetology shows as well. Um, because I just don't do fish. I also do amphibians and semi-aquatic and terrestrial plants and all that stuff. So I kind of want to explore that part of the community as well. And I think I found an event that I think I can afford to go to. It's just that it's a bit far, and this year the event's happening right around the time of the clash, so wasn't able to do it this year. But um, for sure, probably next year, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Okay. Usama can help us with phytoplankton cultures. Yeah, I can. I mainly at work. I mainly maintain our brine shrimp cultures. Um, Part of their diet includes phytoplankton, but it's like paired phytoplankton. It's not live phytoplankton, but we do have phytoplankton cultures and rotifer cultures. They're very tricky. Um, Easy phytoplankton culture, green water. If you can maintain a healthy colony of green water, um, you're um but it's like you can't have any cross contamination, which is a very big thing. So um but it's not that hard to have phytoplankton, but it also depends on what type, because there's green phytoplankton, there's also brown phytoplankton, and at work I think we have a brown species of phytoplankton, if I'm not mistaken. um and the reason I haven't worked with that culture is because, like, again, I mainly maintain the brine shrimp cultures, and apparently with I think with the rotifers, or basically that entire room, you can't come in when we're working with brine shrimp. A lot of the cysts, their eggshells and things like that, actually get you get covered in them, obviously, because when you're cleaning and all that stuff and moving things around, and you can't bring that into the room that we have the phytoplankton and the rotifers and things like that in there, because if the cysts get into the water of where we're holding them, or brine shrimp or anything, it ruins the culture. It's actually harmful. So we literally have to change shoes, or put or long boots on, just to prevent any cross contamination. And just because of that, it's just better where I'm working on the brine shrimp and my colleague is working on the phytoplankton. But then there are times where, like, if she can't do it, she might ask me to do it, or things like that, or I might ask her to let me do it. But it isn't. I'm not gonna do it until we figure out a better way, a better system of where, if I do end up doing brine shrimp first, how to prevent any cross contamination from happening. Hope that makes sense. It made sense in my head. Now, how the heck do I get that tank home when I definitely win it? Yes, Steven. That's what I'm saying. If you got a lot of you who are very much interested in coming in and doing the raffle for that tank, do your research. Especially if you haven't kept saltwater before, do your research. Um, but yeah, like I said, in order to participate in the raffle, you have to purchase something from Atlantic Aquariums. Before that was the only way to do it, but then I was like, well, I might not have something that somebody wants to buy, but they would still want to do the raffle, and so I decided, you know what, if you want, you can purchase a ticket as well. It's going to be $1 per ticket, um, and then you can you can still participate in the raffle that way if you want. And then obviously in Sunday, probably early when we and the vendor when the vendor room opens in Sunday, probably like within the hour or two, roughly, because it will take a bit of time to disassemble the tank, drain it all and everything, get the livestock out. Um, it'll take some time, so I'll ask Scotty to do the drawing roughly around that time, early time, and then help whoever wins it, disassemble the tank if they need help bringing it to their car or whatever. I'll be there, and then hopefully I'll be done. My goal will be to finish that off as soon as possible. That way, I can then start disassembling my booth in time to then help out with the auction, because I think I did sign up to be a runner for the auction again. So fingers crossed I make it in time, but I might be a little bit late, but that's okay. Laura says, I'll take care of that for you, Steven. Laura's like, don't worry. I'll take care of it for you. Dee Dee, welcome. I hope you're doing well. I'm excited to see you there as well, for sure. I wouldn't go that far, Rebecca. Rebecca, corals are still number one for me. When it comes to marine biology and aquarium husbandry sciences, coral is what I've studied. So coral are a big reason for why I chose the fields that I did. And so macroalgae are cool for sure. I'm learning quite a lot about them, but coral will always be number one in my eyes. I like the goth one. Yeah. My local fish store has way better marine stock, but I just sashay through once in a while. Yeah. When I go to my local fish store, I always go through. They have equal amounts, saltwater and freshwater. Um, Speaking of livestock, if you guys follow Atlantic Aquariums on social media, like Facebook and Instagram, I made a little post about some exciting things that are going to be coming to the fish and invertebrates section next year. I think Laura commented on Facebook saying that it's going to be shrimp, and I'm like, good guess, but no. The clue is within the post. That in terms of figuring out what is coming to the fish and invertebrate section, the clue is in the picture, the post, the announcement. That's all I'm going to say. Hey, it's Jenna. Welcome. Hope you're doing well. We've got both P's in here today. I can't really have clowns anyway. They aren't really a good match with seahorses. If I ever finally get my salty tank set up, that is. Yeah, if you ever. We've been waiting for that. Zen, to make it easier for you, there's a thing called multiple tank syndrome. It also works in saltwater. So you can absolutely keep seahorses, but obviously if you want clownfish, just set up another tank for your clownfish. You know, you can set up a reef tank if you want. If you just want to do clownfish with anemones, a lot of people have set up tanks where they just had the clowns with the sea anemones. You can definitely do that. But yeah, there should not be an excuse for you as to why you can't have both. You're just gonna have to set up another tank. And then the stuff for your new saltwater tank you can get from me. Hello there, Salient. Thank you very much for coming by. Hope you're doing well. Appreciate it. We've got Xanadu here. Welcome, buddy. Hope you're doing well. Mono shrimp, when born, eat phytoplankton. As they get bigger, we feed rotifers. Yep, that's true. Yeah, it's really not that difficult. It's just that it's best to have like smaller batches of cultures, if you will. That way, if one culture crashes, it's very easy for you to set up a new one. Um, um, but yeah, there's even a Facebook community on live culture husbandry, believe it or not, like live food culture husbandry. So I strongly encourage, for those of you who do a lot of live culture stuff, um, to join that Facebook group. It's a lot of good people that know a lot, for sure. What is the raffle for? So the raffle is for a 10-gallon saltwater planted aquarium setup. Watch the first video of the series to learn more about that, Tim. Maybe make sure that people put a phone number on the back of their raffle ticket just in case they are not in the room when the raffle is called. So I will make sure to let everybody know what time the raffle is going to be, at what date. In order to win the raffle, you must be present at the time. If you are not there when your number is called, we will be picking up another. We will be picking out another thing. So you will be informed of when and what time and where the raffle will be. The raffle when picking. I can't think of the word. Will be drawing. There you go. The raffle drawing will be. If you're not there and your number gets picked, sorry. Crip says I was not listening earlier. I see how it is. Tim, it's the macroalgae, D, not microalgae. Just make Scotty do it all. I see a lot of stores with good marine stock but awful for freshwater. For example, freshwater totally neglected. Yeah, it's really hard there's a when a local fish store has both. The way that my local fish store does it is, for their husbandry staff, they have two teams. Basically, one is solely working on freshwater, the other one is solely working on the saltwater side. And so that way they have enough staff to maintain both sides. Whereas a lot of fish stores, I'm assuming they have people working that are doing both, and it can get pretty hard because, whether we like it or not, like to admit it or not, saltwater is a little bit more demanding than freshwater. And so it's like, well, if we have to, because, and also saltwater is a bit more expensive than freshwater, so you'll see people focusing a little bit more on the saltwater side versus not really focusing on the freshwater. It's rare. I haven't really seen it that much. Um, but my local fish store and a few of the other fish stores that I have here in Jersey that do both have managed to maintain both areas of the aquarium hobby very well, in my opinion. I said shrimp about the post. Yeah, you were close, Laura, but not quite. I kind of judge a store now by how much marine they show. If their Facebook is all marine, it shows they probably don't get any rare freshwater in. You never know, and it doesn't hurt to ask. Jenna, would you consider, I can't talk. Would you consider hippos aquatic, or at least aquatic adjacent? they're usually housed with cichlids, and I just saw on TikTok that your aquarium does hippo paintings. Yes, we do. So my aquarium, and I'm hoping that the aquarium will pay me for at least marketing will pay me for advertising the aquarium. um, um, my aquarium is the only aquarium in the country to have hippos on exhibit. We have two hippos, Jenny and Button. I believe both of them came from Disney, um, if not one of them. And yeah, they are housed. There's a section in our aquarium called Hippo Haven. That is where they are housed, and they are housed with their aquatic section. The aquatic section of their exhibit does have African cichlids in them because obviously hippos are African, they come from Africa. Um, and We do have hippo paintings. In order to get a hippo painting, you have to sign up for the add-on animal encounter, the hippo encounter. And then you get a hippo painting as a keepsake. Basically, what the biologists, they will put animal safe paint on their noses, and the hippos are trained to place their nose onto canvas. And basically, you'll get like a print of their little nose. And I think they'll even tell you whose it is, if it's Jenny or Buttons. And you get to take that home with you. And then obviously there'll be a photographer there that takes your pictures and all that stuff. So, but it is a pretty cool encounter. I haven't done it yet. The only encounter I have done that I actually won a giveaway of was the shark and ray encounter. So that was the only one I did. And then I gifted my brother the penguin encounter because he's big into penguins. So for his birthday / graduation present, I booked him a penguin encounter, and from what I could tell, he enjoyed himself. So that's pretty cool. But to go back to your main question, do you consider hippos aquatic? I consider them semi-aquatic. Obviously, they do like to spend a lot of their time in the water, but they are terrestrial mammals. Um, they still live mostly on land. They spend some time in the water. So I guess you could say semi-aquatic. I would say semi-aquatic, but leaning more towards terrestrial animals. Then do pipefish kind of same. Well, pipefish and seahorses are in the same group family, if you will, and you can keep them together for sure. We have an exhibit at my work um, that has pipefish and seahorses with them. I've kept pipefish and seahorse together myself, and when I was working in the aquarium lab, and they did perfectly fine. To be fair, as the clash got closer, I wasn't really pushing the hubby to help me with the Salty project much. I thought I was going and didn't want to leave them for days alone when it was new. Fair enough. But from my understanding, I think you're not coming, Zen. So, I guess you can start working on that saltwater tank again. The most recent plan is a 75-gallon tank with a 60 breeder sump, but not concrete plans yet until we start moving tanks and building out the stands. Cool. Well, if you need any equipment like skimmers and all that fun stuff, lighting, let me know, Zen, because I carry that stuff. I strongly recommend the Nio skimmers. They're pretty cool and pretty easy to clean as well. Um, And obviously, when it comes to lighting, I prefer aqua illumination. So there's Scotty. Welcome. He was here earlier, and now he has to catch up. Sorry, I think I'm behind chat. I apologize. Yeah, Rebecca, that's there's some truth in that. That is true. That is true. Which is something that you should definitely look into when you are researching for fish that you want to keep is what is their lifespan. Be very careful not to confuse wild lifespan of wild specimens versus that are kept in human care, because it can be different for sure. Excuse me. Yeah. Google. Oh, I caught up. Did I catch up? I did catch up on chat. Cool. Zen says, "Yeah, time to get pushy again." But what if Annette lets you room with her and hide out in the room as much as you need? Who are you referring to? I think you're probably referring to Zen. Oh, I'll for sure hit up all the fish fam folks I can for anything for the tanks. Still not sure where the heck I'm getting the ponies though. Now, if Alyssa is kinda getting out of that part. Well, I think Seahorse Savvy still has seahorses available. Um, there's also obviously your local fish store. Um, I wonder. The only other thing that I could think of, and I know people have mixed reviews of these guys, but Live Aquaria, excuse me, is another source. But I don't think they've had seahorses in stock in a while. From time to time, I like to go on Live Aquaria just to look at the pictures. Yeah, none of them are really in stock, but they're for sure. Zen, if you browse around, you'll definitely find sources for some seahorses. Or what you might want to do is contact Seahorse Savvy and be like, hey, do you know of any other reputable sources where I can acquire seahorses if Seahorse Savvy no longer is selling seahorses? Um, that would be my recommendation. I wish I could tell you that, oh, just buy them from me. But I don't have seahorses or any other fish in stock, unfortunately. Finding the true lifespan span is like finding plecos catfish apart from the real minis in decades. Yeah, but cichlids comparatively short. Discus, I think 4 to 10. Yeah, I think that would make sense. Jenna was referring to Zen. Gotcha. Well, that was for me. For some reason, I don't think Annette would go for that. You never know. You can always ask. I don't usually see Annette in chat, but you can always ask Zen. You can always ask Annette in other chats if she is. She would rather have you room with her than Matt. Oh boy. No offense, Matt, if he's still here. But yeah, so that's Keystone Clash stuff. If anybody else has any questions about Keystone Clash stuff regarding Atlantic aquariums, I'm more than happy to answer that for you. Um, Biota was my next to go, but it was like $500 for a white and 200 for erectus each, and they're usually sold out also. Yeah. Um, if you're gonna get aquaculture, a lot of aquaculture or captive bred specimens, especially in saltwater, are really going up. Um, but Biota has some nice specimens for sure. And to be honest, it's like companies like Biota and Aura, they do ship to local fish stores as well. So, um, but yeah, it's that's one of the things. And is seahorses, they're not cheap. You're not gonna find them cheap. Um, they are intermediate to advanced level. I would say more intermediate to advanced level care. So you want to make sure that you're really ready to take on that responsibility of caring for fish that are going to be that pricey. But I have faith in you, Zen. I think you will do perfectly well, and you have plenty of resources to help you. So, but yeah, saltwater is not cheap for sure. That's like, wait, what? Did I win something? Yeah, Matt, you won the opportunity to probably not room with a net, and Zen will take up that spot at the clash. And then Tim's asking Matt, "Are you coming to the clash this year?" Yeah, Matt, are you coming to the clash? Two YDI with shipping would have cost me like $1,200. Yikes! Yeah, and obviously with shipping, it's going to be overnight shipping, which is costly. So yeah. Another thing that I would recommend, Zen, is either just finding local fish stores where you are able to travel to, or going to like saltwater specific events, Aquashella, Reefapalooza. Usually there are vendors there that are carrying seahorses, believe it or not, and sometimes you can get a good deal there because shipping isn't really involved. Um, but that's the only other thing I can think of, other than just finding other online retailers that probably will have seahorses that might be a little bit more affordable. Um, but yeah. What else is there? I just really have heard horrible things about wild caught, and I feel like I need to really trust the source. No, I agree with you. I will say this, however, that there's a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? There's a lot of work that's been done to make wild sourcing more sustainable and more reliable and more trustworthy. Because although aquaculture is pretty, as an aquaculturist myself, although I think aquaculture is the best bet for aquatic husbandry, you also have to understand that a lot of people and a lot of organizations are working with a lot of these local communities that are going out to collect these specimens for the aquarium trade. It's their livelihood. And if they can get a good amount of education on how to sustainably collect these specimens, it's going to positively affect them. It's going to also positively affect the aquarium trade. And then obviously, um, and there's pros and cons with everything. There's pros and cons with aquaculture in itself, as well as wild caught. Um, like Rebecca is saying, aquaculture also has hidden damage as well. It's an interesting discussion, like the big farms regarding pollution and diseases. I agree. Um, Prawn and shrimp aquaculture. Um, where they're being aquacultured in ocean in the ocean, but like in estuaries and things like that. But the only way for them to farm is to clear out mangroves and things like that. So which is unfortunate, and it's not as common, but it does happen. And so you've got different diseases that can cross contaminate. Um, some of the feeds that are being used for them and things like that. So there are pros and cons to both sides, but there's been a lot of advancements in bettering aquaculture as well as bettering sustainable wild collections. But farmed salmon has less obvious parasites to the eater. That is true. I actually did when I was in community college. I was part of a research where we took samples from wild caught salmon as well as aquacultured salmon, and we sent it out for bioaccumulation studies uh, to figure out how much bioaccumulation there is for like mercury and things like that. Um, and we got some pretty interesting results. I can't remember off the top of my head what they were, but it was different from what we thought it was for sure. Um, yeah, that's true. Zen food fish farms are a whole different story. Um, no, my interest when it comes to aquaculture is more towards ornamental than it is food fish, but it's a lot of the same story. My observation is from dissections. Yeah. Um, but yeah, so that's all I got. Um, Again, Keystone Clash is coming up in a week. I hope you guys are just as excited as I am, and I hope to see you guys there. Um, I kind of posted on Facebook, like on the Keystone Clash group and all that stuff, as well as on the Atlantic Aquariums Facebook page about some of the things that I will be bringing to the Clash. Atlantic Aquariums will be bringing to the Clash, so pretty excited about that. Nobody has placed any pre-orders yet, so you know, but I'm really hoping the Keystone Clash goes well in terms of the business side of things because I've got some important things coming up in my life that I need a lot of financial help with. So, but yeah, and which reminds me to mention during the month of November, so like October 29th to the 27th, I will be traveling overseas for a very important thing. Um, and so I'm not really going to be active in on YouTube as much. Um, but I will try my best to be in like live streams and things like that. But obviously, with the time difference uh, between the U.S. and Pakistan, it might be very hard. But so if you guys notice that I'm like, where's the professor? For these, I haven't seen him in a month. I'm overseas, so I'm okay. Um, just sleeping when you guys are awake. Biosecurity isn't the same everywhere. Oh, that is true. That is true for sure. Ornamental in some countries, not sure how much better. Yeah, I mean, there is a lot of work going on, and there's still a lot of work to do. But I wouldn't bash wild caught just that much just yet. Compared to how it used to be, it has gotten better. Um, but because of certain legislations banning exports of wild collected specimens, aquaculture, there's been a huge demand for aquaculture. And obviously, um, that has caused the prices for a lot of aquacultured specimens to skyrocket. So, it is what it is. Um, What are you going to Pakistan for? Family, business, vacation? Um, Family, I guess. Um, yeah, yeah, for family. Um, there is a reason why I am going to Pakistan, and I will be more than happy to share that when I get back. Um, I think at least one person knows why, or actually, no, a few people that have shown up here know why I'm going to Pakistan, and I hope they don't say anything yet. Um, but it's all good stuff. But yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. The last time I was in Pakistan was I think maybe 2 years ago for my sister's wedding. Um, so pretty would be pretty interesting to see how things are there. I guess have fun. I think maybe I will. I will. It's all good, Zen. Don't worry. Um, the way that I'm kind of thinking of it is obviously it's for family reasons, but also, I personally also think of it as like a vacation because I desperately need a vacation. But also, I won't be working for that month. So, like, I'm looking at my bank account and I'm like, how am I going to pay off some of these loans when I'm not working for that entire month? Um, but we'll see. And depending on how well things go at the clash will determine how relaxed or anxious I will be during the month of November. But all will be good. All will be good. My main thing at the clash is to have fun and talk with people, talk about husbandry with a lot of people there. So I hope you guys are excited as well. Um, but yeah, that is it. I believe the next time I will see you guys will be in Morgantown, PA from the 4th to the 6th at the Keystone Clash. Obviously, I will be there the entire 3 days, so there will be no stream on Sunday. Um, but yeah, for those of you who will be there, I hope to see you guys there. Please don't hesitate to stop by and say hi. Don't be a stranger. Some of you might have to introduce yourselves because I might know you by name but not by face. um, so don't be discouraged if or don't be offended if you guys come up to me like, "Hey, professor," and I look at you like I don't know who you are. Um, um, but once you say who you are, I'll probably be like, "Oh, hey." Um, but yeah, and then obviously, if you're not coming to the Clash, I hope I get to see you next year at the Clash, because it is a fun event for sure. But yeah, unless there are any other questions, I think we've had some good discussions. And Rebecca, thank you very much for a lot of your insight. I can't wait to see you at the Clash as well. I know you have a booth there, if I'm not mistaken. Um, and then I'm hoping to see your to come to your talk as well as Chris Meckley's talk for his choral talks. But it depends on if I'm reminded that there's a talk going on because I'm probably not going to know when you guys are going on, and then if I am busy with stuff at the booth because it's just going to be me there. So it's really hard for me to leave my booth alone and go, and especially for a talk. Like since I've been going to the Clash, I haven't really seen excuse me, I haven't really seen any talks. But I'm hoping to this year. Well, so we'll see. But yeah, that being said, I appreciate you guys stopping by. I apologize again for being a little late. But I hope you guys enjoyed. Please make sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, so you don't miss a future, as well as the notification bell, so you don't miss any future videos and live streams. Make sure you hit that like button if you enjoyed. If you didn't, that's okay. And thank you to all the moderators for keeping the chats clean and educational, and for sharing any links. Um, and thank you to the replay crew for stopping by and watching the replay. I apologize you were not able to make it, but I hope you guys will be able to make the next live stream. And with that being said, take care, stay safe, make sure you do your water changes, and I will see you again. Bye bye.